You will never win if you rely on motivation. Motivation is emotion. It rises, it fades, it disappears when life gets hard. Discipline is decision. It's not about feeling ready, it's about acting when you don't. This audiobook is not about hype, it's about control. The control to show up tired, to execute bored, to push forward when nobody's watching. If you learn one thing from this, let it be this. You don't need to feel good to do great things. That's the disciplined mind. Absolutely. Here's the full audiobook script for Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Stop waiting to feel ready. Approximately 1,000 words, written for 7 to 9 minutes of audio narration in the authoritative, tough love coaching tone. Chapter 1. Stop waiting to feel ready. You've been lied to. You've been told to wait for the right time. You've been told to prepare more, plan more, think more. That's the trap. That's why you're stuck. Readiness is a myth. Nobody ever feels ready. Every champion, every entrepreneur, every soldier, every performer, they all stepped forward before they felt ready. They acted while they were scared. They moved while they were uncertain. That's the truth nobody wants to hear, because it removes your excuse. You don't wait to feel ready. You move, then you adapt. You decide first, you adjust later. That's the disciplined mind. When you wait for the perfect time, what you're really doing is protecting your comfort. You're trying to control every variable before you move. But here's the truth. Control is an illusion. The world will never align perfectly. Your finances won't be perfect. Your emotions won't be stable. Your confidence won't magically appear. The people around you won't suddenly support you. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll wait forever. That's how dreams die, quietly under the excuse of not ready yet. The great ones start anyway. Michael Jordan didn't feel ready when he took his first game-winning shot. He missed. He learned. He adapted. Steve Jobs didn't feel ready when he started Apple in a garage. He wasn't a CEO. He wasn't an expert. He just had an idea and the discipline to begin. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for certainty. They moved, and the movement created clarity. That's the key. Action breeds clarity. Waiting breeds doubt. The disciplined mind moves before it feels ready because it understands this. Motion builds confidence. Confidence doesn't come first. It comes after. You have a choice. You can wait until you feel ready, or you can act now and grow through the process. Every time you move without certainty, you're building mental armor. You're teaching your brain that you don't need the perfect setup to execute. You're proving to yourself that you can adapt on the fly. That's what separates winners from wishers. Winners act. Wishers wait. Think about this. Every day you hesitate, someone else begins. Every day you overthink, someone else takes the first step. By the time you feel ready, they're already ahead. They're learning while you're planning. They're adapting while you're analyzing. They're failing, but they're moving, and that's why they win. Because movement beats perfection every single time. The disciplined mind doesn't need the perfect mood. It doesn't need the right motivation. It doesn't wait for confidence. It creates confidence through consistency. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to have everything. You just need to start. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Every small move matters. Every imperfect step counts. The man who waits to feel ready will be waiting while the disciplined man is winning. Here's what you do. Stop thinking about step 10. Focus on step 1. Don't build a perfect plan, build momentum. Start the workout, write the first page, make the first call. You don't have to see the whole path, you just have to move your feet. And every time you do, you're rewiring your brain. You're teaching it that action is the default, not hesitation. That's how discipline works, through repetition. You don't wait to feel ready, you move, then you adapt. Say it again. You move, then you adapt. You think readiness will bring confidence, but confidence comes from evidence, and evidence comes from action. You can't think your way into discipline, you act your way into discipline. You do, and your mind follows. That's the formula. That's the system. That's the disciplined mind. When you tell yourself, I'm not ready, what you really mean is, I'm afraid. Afraid to fail, afraid to look stupid, afraid to be judged. But here's the truth. Failure is feedback. Embarrassment is education. Fear is fuel. Discipline doesn't remove fear. It moves through it. You're not supposed to feel ready. You're supposed to feel resistance, and then move anyway. Because every time you act in the presence of fear, you strengthen your identity. You prove you're the kind of person who moves despite emotion. That's real power. You have to stop romanticizing preparation. Preparation is important, but perfectionism is poison. You can't rehearse forever. At some point, you must perform. Start before you're ready. Speak before you're comfortable. Build before you're qualified. Every master was once a beginner who started messy. Every expert was once a student who stumbled. Stop glorifying readiness. Start glorifying resilience. Because readiness is passive, discipline is active. Let's get brutally honest. If you're waiting to feel ready, you're choosing weakness. You're waiting for comfort instead of building capacity. And comfort is the killer of progress. Discipline grows in discomfort. You'll never feel ready to wake up earlier, to confront your laziness, to take responsibility. But that's the work. That's the grind. That's the transformation. The moment you stop needing to feel ready, you become unstoppable. Because now nothing controls you. Not emotion, not doubt, not fear. You move regardless. You execute regardless. You adapt regardless. That's how you win. Say it again, and say it loud. You don't wait to feel ready. You move, then you adapt. That's the code. That's the standard. That's the disciplined mind. You've now taken the first step. You've destroyed the illusion of readiness. From this moment forward, every hesitation will be a signal, not to stop, but to go, not to freeze, but to move. Because that's what separates talkers from doers. And you're here to do. You've learned to act without emotion. You've learned to move without permission. Now it's time to strengthen that power even more. You've conquered hesitation. Now let's talk about the real enemy of consistency, emotion itself. Chapter 2. Emotion is the enemy of consistency. End of Chapter 1. Approximately 1,020 words. Would you like me to proceed and write Chapter 2, Emotion is the Enemy of Consistency, in the same tone and length next?